Yo, what up? It's your boy Willie Main. Your boy Pop is kind of MIA right now, but he should be back tomorrow. But we've been taking a hiatus because, had to get some new gear, new equipment, so be on the lookout for that. But, you know, get on YouTube for 2 seconds and you just see some stuff and you're just like, why though? So let's look into this video. Fresh and Fit clip. You already know how we feel about them, but for the most part, they're just exposing stuff for what it is. So let's watch.
20K per year. Are you taking them?
Absolutely not. Like a good
So how
father
much
to
should
your
your
children.
husband make?
My husband?
Yeah.
I'm 20.
Your 50K is not enough, so how much?
At least $1 million a year.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
that's okay. You gotta
What traits would you
100%.
Here we
bring
go.
to the table to keep that going?
Well, of course, loyalty. I'm an attractive woman, so of course I would attract a man like that.
Okay.
And family values, morality. I come from a good family. I'll take cooking classes. I don't know how to cook, but I'll take cooking classes.
Bruh. Okay.
I don't know what else to say. What else do you need?
So,
Do you think that deserves an $1 million man?
Yeah. Why not?
You don't even know how to cook.
Yeah, I mean, that's
I said I'll take cooking classes.
This is like wild on a whole new level at this point because, like, as somebody working to make $1 million, I mean, thinking about it now, I probably made $1 million in my lifetime. It's just about how I've chosen to spend my money. Let's get my camera working. But how I've decided to spend my money. And this is why I bought a new camera. Because like I'm looking tired of this autofocus. But all right. So now that we're back. But this is like what's really happening. So this girl is 20 years old. She thinks that she needs a dude who makes $1 million. But the thing about it is a dude who makes $1 million in a year is going to have so many options when it comes to women and just things in general that he will most likely date her and mess with her for a little bit. But I don't feel like he's going to take her serious because truthfully, one, she already red flag. Like number one is like, I don't know how to cook. It's like, I think these females watch too many movies where they think like, oh, this guy's a rich millionaire, so he's just gonna have maids and cooking and cleaning, and I don't have to do anything but look beautiful and this and that. Which reminds me of this movie I watched on Netflix, 365 Days. If you haven't seen it, check it out. I'm not sponsored by Netflix or that movie, but it's essentially the same thing. But the thing was, this man chose this woman. Um, I mean, a little bit of a spoiler, but essentially he chose a woman that he wanted and pretty much made her fall in love, or she chose to fall in love with him. But the story is pretty interesting. But I think that's what like women watch because like even like the whole 50 Shades of Grey, where they're just like, oh, I want a man like that, like, or I think it's called Him or Her, where the dude's like a serial killer, I guess, and he's hyper aggressive or hyper obsessive over the chick. And females are like, oh, this dude has time to kill people and be so obsessed with this girl. But it's like, it's not realistic, bro. Like, real life, the dude's going to jail, 100%. Uh, but the thing is like, these dudes, the thing is like, men know how men are in certain calibers or certain categories of life. So even among men who make $100,000, some of them do want to settle down. But when they look for the qualities they want in a wife, they want a wife who's loyal, submissive, can essentially help them grow towards their goals if they haven't already reached all the goals they want. But most men don't reach all the goals they want because most men want to leave something behind, a legacy. Now, some men are different as far as like what they want to leave behind as a legacy. For some, it's just having kids and settling down. For others, it's having your name remembered, kind of like gladiators back in the day. But at the end of the day, most men are about conquest. So if you look at conquest for men, it's like, okay, this girl is 20 years old. even if she learned how to cook, which would maybe take like 3 years for her to perfect it, she'll be 23 years old. What is she going to be doing in that time? If she gets a degree, first off, she has a mentality that she can just get a man based off of her looks, which everybody has said, or most stuff has been proven, is like, as a female, your looks are only going to go so far for so long. So then if you're finding a man based off of your looks, that means when you get older, he's not going to be wanting you for the same things that he fell in love with you or initially started talking to you for. And then what do? Oh, she learned how to cook. But the thing about it is, you look at Leonardo DiCaprio. Leonardo DiCaprio dumps all his girlfriends by 25. Why? Who knows? The man's a mystery. But I guarantee you, a lot more millionaires are going to be acting like Leonardo DiCaprio. I mean, you think about most of the rich men in the world. What do they have? Hot young wives. I mean, most of the time, the difference between their ages is like 15 years, maybe even more than that, 10 to 15 years. So, okay, she marries at 23, and then from there, um, she probably gets about a kid out of him, maybe. But I mean, that's if he wants to have a kid. And then things kind of change. So I feel like these women are being led astray for sure. Because if every woman is competing for $1 million man, then none of these women are going to find him. Because, or maybe one or two. But the thing about it is, they're not going to be able to keep a man like that because at the end of the day, that man is going to have more options. So women will complain about a man cheating on them, being a dog, all this other stuff. But the men that they want to go after are those men. Because it's like, I guarantee you, if she found a dude who was making $50,000, had no debt, like had a car paid off, and was all about her, she would get more satisfaction out of that because this dude is humbled. He doesn't have all the options that he wants. And even if he did have the options, if he finds a good girl, he's most likely going to stay loyal to her. But now we have these women who are just like, oh, I'm bored. I want this, I want that. I want to live this lifestyle of like going on yachts and not having to do anything. And the studies have been coming in that most women by the age or by the year of 2023, which is creeping around the block. We're in 2022, but 33, I think it's 33 or 50, 2050, 2030, like all these women who have been like, oh, I'm going to be single. I don't need a man, this, and that. Like, they're just going to be sad and lonely. And the truth of the matter is, most men are going to be okay because most men are fine with being alone, but most women who are taking on masculine traits will eventually learn that there's a reason why men's suicide rates are so high. Because a man who can never achieve a partner or never achieve love doesn't really have anything to live for if he cannot be a pretty much a what word am I looking for? If he cannot reach his full potential or contribute to society in some way that is fulfilling towards him and fulfilling towards his goals, then there's not really anything for him to live for. And I think that's a big reason why a lot of people just commit suicide. As far as men go, men lose hope in everything and they know that certain things are inevitable. So as men, we think very logically, and some men look 10, 15 years down the line in their thoughts, and it's just like, yo, I've been alive for 28 years and this stuff is that I've wanted just never happened. I don't have the drive, the motivation to do it. And then there it goes. I mean, I'm no scientist or doctor or whichever you would say, but I like to live my life based off of life experiences and theories. And if my theory is wrong, then it is what it is. But this is what I believe can be contributed to the men's suicide rates. So feeling of hopelessness because you can't get a woman. And the thing is like, it's only going to get worse. A lot more women are going to start OnlyFans and think that they can do all these things that men do. And the men that they're trying to attract are going to be like, no, I'm good. Because what do most powerful men want? They want a submissive woman who is going to follow their plan and be about them. But in return, a man will give you everything you want. And the thing about it is like this whole feminist movement is trying to push that being submissive, which when you say the word submissive, it's not like, hey, get in a cage. I'm going to put a chain on you and you can't do this, this, and that. But it's more so setting boundaries and setting, I wouldn't even say limitations, but really just setting boundaries. Because if you're in a relationship with somebody, there should be boundaries that are set and there should be boundaries that are followed on both sides. So for women to come in and say, like, I'm not doing this, and that, it's like, you're not willing to compromise or like have an ultimatum for like what will make you happy and also what will make your man happy. And it's kind of bullshit on both sides too, because women will pick ain't shit ass dudes and then hold everybody accountable for the dudes that they mess with. Same thing with men. Men will go and get their hearts broken and be like, oh, I'm going to make every woman suffer. But I think the biggest thing to get out of this is people have to move on past their past and just live their lives without any regrets or doubts and be realistic. Because at the end of the day, it's all this fairy tale stuff like, oh, I want $1 million man. I want a dude who's gonna just take care of me. Why? And then the thing is like when the women are asked why, because like we could start a panel when we ask the dudes. Because to be honest, a lot of dudes are gonna be truthful about it and be like, why? Why would I want that? Like, okay, she's 20 and she has all these things that she are not material things that you can actually hold. So